Hello and a very warm welcome to Women's World, a program especially related to women, and I'm Dechen Om with the program. In this edition, we'll take a look at the lives of two trans women who feel that they are women trapped in a man's body. Transgender, which the doctors call a gender identity disorder, hit Seno from a very young age. 22-year-old Seno was born a boy but now living as a woman. Seno says she felt more like a girl and less a boy from her childhood.
I used to like being a girl right from my childhood. I used to play with girls and all my friends were girls. To school, I had no choice but to go, but right after school, I used to wrap myself with shawls, wrappers and my mother's carers and dress up in girls' outfits. Even when I go out, I used to hide my mother's kira in my bag and take once I reached my friend's house. Then I used to dress up as a girl and roam in town.
A witness to Seno's journey of finding identity, Maya was Seno's neighbor for about 8 years and saw her growing up.
Class din ge de chinale thong thong la sel hanale school jauda di go gendira jongla school nale chuti tang chinale chimnale family nale fa hong charo chimaji ani eyebrow disu chapstick disu bedungla hema beojin ani laung buski bum jodi ngachi beojin ani kyo phole thop da gas che gachi bo bum gi ani beomo beja beomo selong te bus be bum chiga sarbe da ngome chaibo se long tinga chi di bero nga interest mi ani be selong mugi.
Despite the growing feeling of femininity, Seno lived a life of a boy, at least in public, until she turned 18. It was in 2008 that Seno took a bold and radical life-altering move and chose to live as a woman, a gender identity that birth did not give her.
I
studied till class 8 and during school I used to wear go. I had little difficulty in school as all my friends were girls and my teachers used to school me. Sometimes they used to make fun of me too.
Tall, slim and attractive, Dechen could easily pass as a young, beautiful woman, but the reality is she is not a woman. Dechen too was born a boy, but today associates with and identifies herself as a woman and lives like one.
I
think I was like this right from the start. My mother says even as a kid I used to cry and refuse dressing like boy. In fact, I used to wear my pants on my head and pretended it was my long hair and play with it. I think it's my fate that I am born like this.
Kara lele chomitebemo anzumete nareda tsingame lele tindigime notigibe tsitaranzum lutunus no.
Like Seno, it wasn't until she entered into her late teens that Dechen started wearing kira. Then Dechen took on a second name, Salon, and a woman by the name of Dechen Salon was born.
School na jodati gora kengobemo gokenjoi te chimna hebadati dismashura ngara kiraken anibedungla zo nige na satoi te kiragi thakade a lupun gepa chabe tekalida ngalocha nga churula no teledi goken mechiga thema sublobra na joma.
To school I wore go, but after school I used to wear kira and used to make up myself. Once I completed class 8, by then I was about 16 years, I was not comfortable wearing go at all. I thought thought I was not a male, so I also refused to go to school and started wearing kira. After I gave an interview to one of the local newspaper, I got support from the government to wear kira to school, but no matter what, there were some discriminations from others which led to self-stigma. Although education is important, I decided to drop out and pursue training as beautician.
ra jimida chibda atsi madu hasubli tindigi ngare la khatame khoi la khatame ba mapa education dinam sam khache mo dirabero da lachi besare tube no dige be de niktunge na ngalugum ko pasinsime tani ta shabe de ngalugna le thenbe zozonigi training ba jina.
Dechen is like any other normal girl. She likes to look slim and pretty. She goes to all lengths to maintain her body. She talks about her journey as Dechen Salon.
I class kunale ten ba logling chunguji tigi soingla da ni di ti be ngara phamnam chugi alui mo salon da zozo ni training chap ni ngalu turmi la matsa ani ten le nga drying na shapri chap mi be do sumdi la ta shapri te mi be de chape chapchila de ani be ngalu ni photo.
After dropping out of school, I got an offer to play a small role in film. After that, I worked in Dayang to teach and dance at the same time. I got paid 10,000 Yultram a month. With the amount, I rented a flat and also paid my fees for the salon training. Later, my parents offered to help me open a salon in Wangdaforong. Recently, I acted in a film and it's also doing some small side businesses and volunteer works. But I am going to open a salon in Thimphu soon.
Lognin chichi tele la chung chamchimbedo wala side business tele volunteers and bendi tanaba disaschi mitobela and bendiga salon di tunila do chini banar tunila tunide.
Women trapped in a man's body. This is how Dechen and Sencho see themselves. Today, both Sencho and Dechen are comfortable with who they are. They have long come to terms with their reality, but they did not get to this point easily.
Dangai school tension wale dangarangara mitsinat phogi in singarage no some duriri tambe da laji penis no stambe ngai school tension wale paro chapter jami diagnosis is.
After dropping out of school, I thought I'll try to be normal, be a man and work. So I worked 1.5 years as a dancer in a drying in Paro. But it was very frustrating and I felt like I was cheating myself. So I resigned and started wearing kira again and stayed home helping my parents.
Sem gaila ngangarata digi kachma sachin ngagishila ni jutana nangara ziulitin digi ngayishimo kadimcheli shimbe ra imbi dinigi denle kadimchila khayuga ngachi japchu.
I'm happy with myself now because I have gone through a lot to be who I am right now. I know how difficult it is to be faced with discriminations from people, even friends, and having no one to talk to. I used to go nearby riverside and scream and cry my heart out due to frustration as I could not share it with anyone. I even tried committing suicide out of stress and depression for not being able to come out openly. Having gone through that, I now console and try to help others like myself who are frustrated and not able to come out.
They are not free from struggles even now. They still often find themselves subjected to discrimination and mockery. Sencho says this leads to self-stigma.
Senses nada bus besha bete phogi besha delenga chireda anjumle chu anibet ats lakhatus shuni ta laya khungi tanga chilu lagi kokabe mijini nyen khatus shuni.
Life is very difficult for transgender like us. It is also difficult to go and look for a job because now we are dressed up as a female. and our identity cards reflect us as men, and the job opportunity is less. Even while visiting the zone, I experienced an incident where I was mimicked and made fun of by the security personnel. Another place I feel awkward to go is the hospital because of our self-stigma. I feel that the doctor may scold us or discriminate us. Toilet is another problem. We don't know whether to go to the male or female toilet. We can't enter the male toilet as we are dressed as female, and if we enter female toilet, the girls stare at me and gossip, making me feel awkward.
Buski chapsana jojin boom disi khatang kajimsa ngachi anjum I lalu chi ngombara boom imis no tele boom gi chapsan jojin busti sui ngachi anjum shede de atse chapsana juni gi kangil chi de dus juni.
One thing that has been weighing heavily on Senchu's mind is her citizenship identity card that identifies her as a male. She's working to process a new citizenship identity card identifying her as a female. Meanwhile, Dechen Salon is free of this worry.
Ngalu citizenship identity card tila female se ila kasma sa chin ngadi medical test check pura beila sa identity card change ma bela nga zoe.
I am reflected as a female in my citizenship identity card. When making my ID card, I requested the officials to grant me female gender. I did a lot of medical tests and managed to get some certificates and got female gender.
Ngar certificate ila cham yama ani ba tin bebe tiru phale de namsami japchu nai langalo tani binigi.
Living a transgender life has not been easy so far. Much of their lives are yet unwritten. No one knows what the future has in store for them.
I don't intend to marry, but in the future, I would like to adopt and raise a child.
Possible dream ba chin lishmila the impossible dream be khungane mila don nipsem gi so mila alu kinigi alu adopt be la ngaragi ni be di mo the adopt be.
It's good to dream about the possible things rather than the impossible ones. I have adopted 2 children and I wish to help the kidney patients, HIV positive people and the ones like myself. I have no wish to marry and no big ambition as I am not qualified enough, but I am fulfilling my hobbies little by little. About life partner, there are some who propose to me out of care, some not knowing who I really am, while there are some who wants to check my gender, so I have to be very careful. Sometimes I do feel lonely, especially when I see happy couples with kids. But at the end, I remind myself about my reality and stop dreaming.
Lonely feel beyond la. The ro laluchi mo puja amchu laptip alu banazu gatoto be. Then we just a tongue about that. Same show me lazre. Same show me naya anzumbese. But wish the totally life and the possible mila.
Both Senchu and Dechen are in their early 20s and have chosen to live the rest of their lives as women, no matter how the society sees or treats them. They say it's not their fault that they are born with a gender identification disorder. All they can do is be what they truly are. That's all we have for this edition of Women's World. Join us for more women-related issues. Till then, it's me, Dechen Om, saying goodbye for now and see you next time.